Hi, and welcome to Saturday Night Spiritual, an interfaith service brought to you by Founders Metropolitan Community Church. I'm Reverend Sheena, and I'm the interfaith pastor here at Founders MCC. And I'm also a staff pastor, and I'm a person of the interfaith faith. Also consider myself to be a progressive Christian. And every month, 5 p.m., second Saturday, we do a universal light-based, love-filled service that I bring to you with a message from Spirit, which is my favorite term for God, a message from Spirit to help to fill your heart with love and joy and light, and maybe bring you a little bit closer to God, to the earth, to those you love, and to you. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to be a part of Founders MCC. You can find us at foundersmcc.org, whether you want to learn more about me, about this service, about any of our services, about any of our outreaches, or send a generous donation, foundersmcc.org. We also have a fantastic YouTube page and a wonderful Facebook page, and you can see many things, all of our things there. And we do in-person services on Sundays. And we just love for you to come out and see what we're doing. Come out and meet us. It's a friendly place. It's a lovely place. It is the church that I waited for my entire life. It is the church that my mother waited for her entire life and unfortunately passed before she found it. But to honor her, I do everything I can to support these wonderful people. What is interfaith? We talk about that a lot, right? What does interfaith mean? When I say I'm Reverend Sheena Metal and I'm an interfaith pastor, what does that mean? Well, it seems to be something that confuses people, because I think we grew up with this idea that we are one religion. Pick a religion, and you're either one religion or you're no religions, and that's just the way it is. But it's really not the way it is, because look, God made everything. So everything that walks in the light, right, is all made by Spirit. The universe that I follow is the universe of light. So anything that is of the light is for me. So if somebody belongs to quote unquote a different religion, or goes to quote unquote a different church, if God made everything, then why not go out and see what God made and figure out, what do you like? What resonates with you? What makes you happy? That is the joy of interfaith. It's like this. I love German cars. I've only owned a German car. My entire life, I've only had German cars. Yet, when I rent cars, when I'm with friends, I like all kinds of cars. I'll drive American cars, Japanese cars, Swedish cars, anything that's out there. I want to drive it. I want to see what it's about, and I want to get excited about it because I love cars. That is probably the most three-dimensional thing you will hear me say. I love to drive and I love cars. I love rhythm. So I love things that provide rhythm. And for me, driving does. The ocean I love. It also has rhythm. So just because I love a certain kind of car, I drive a certain kind of car, and I've had that same car for the last 5 cars, doesn't mean I also don't love other cars. So you can be a Christian, but there are also other things from other faiths that you enjoy. You enjoy meditation, Buddhist meditation. You love the Hindu demigod Ganesh. I do. I love Ganesh because I love anything that's an elephant. You love the way that Jewish folks observe holidays. You pick what you like, right? And then that's the thing that you do. Like Muslims, you like to pray so many times a day. There's all different things, and it doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be your full-time thing, but you can like pieces of it. And if you like pieces, or you like the idea of any other kind of spirituality, or even if you don't, but you acknowledge that those folks are allowed to be a part of the earth they share with you, then whether you like it or not, you are interfaith. Because you're saying, I'm a Christian, but I live next door and I love my Jewish neighbors, and I understand that people are all different things, Mormons and atheists and agnostics and New Age and science of mind. I love that people are that. I don't want to be that, but I get that people are that, and I love that people are that. Guess what? Congratulations, you're interfaith. How did that happen? Yeah. So most people are interfaith and don't even know it. That doesn't mean you have to say, I practice. Well, maybe you should say, I practice interfaith spirituality, because all you're doing is acknowledging the entire pie of faith. And your piece is your particular spiritual ideology. So your piece of the pie is what you've built up. And that piece can be a solid Christian piece, just like sometimes a piece of cheesecake is nothing but cheesecake and crust. So let's say the crust of the pie is the earth. So all of the interfaith pie sits on the crust, and the crust is the earth. So let's say your piece of the pie is nothing but Christian and earth. So you're having the plain cheesecake. But then somebody else like the tuxedo cheesecake, where it's the chocolate layer, the vanilla layer, and the plain cheesecake, and then the chocolate layer. That might be somebody who likes two different kinds of interfaith. Or somebody might like, and I watch the Food Network. Some of these cakes have like so many different layers. My spirit nephew got married. Each layer of the cake was something else with a different kind of icing. That's an interfaith cake. I can get behind that cake. So you decide what your slice looks like. So nobody takes anything away from you. It's not affecting your faith at all. You just decide what you want your spirituality to look like. And for me, that's amazing, because we get to build our own faith out of the things that we love, all created by God. And then we get to say to our neighbor, wow, I dig what you're up to. I love it. And I dig what you're up to. So I love Christmas. And I'll talk about, as we get closer to Christmas in the months coming up, I'll start talking about Christmas at Labor Day. Who am I kidding? I'm talking about it now. It's August. I love Christmas lights, and I'll drive all around 50 miles to look at people's Christmas lights. And I'm fascinated about what people's Christmas light displays look like, because for some folks, like the Grinch is part of their Christmas, and that's part of how they celebrate Christmas. For some folks, A Nightmare Before Christmas is part of their Christmas celebration. Everybody has different things that they incorporate into their faith. And if you look at this room, I'm in my office right now, which I inherited from my interfaith mother, who I'm sitting at her interfaith desk doing this right now. You will see about everything you can imagine. Like, I look around, right? I see a Chinese lucky cat. There's a pyramid. There's a Buddha. There's a Hansa. There's Grogu from The Mandalorian, because tell me he's not spiritual. There's a ghost. There's a black cat. There's Tree of Life. There's a selenite wand. There's a gargoyle. There's Buddha. There's Ganesh. There's Laughing Buddha. There's Bast, the Egyptian cat goddess. There's a witch. There's everything, because it's all this stuff that I love. I have a curio cabinet where I just keep things that I consider to be my ascended masters. The wise men are there. St. Patrick is there. St. Bridget is there. Of course, a lot of the things I just mentioned. Abraham Lincoln is there. Yoda. It's all the things that I consider to be part of my interfaith spirituality. And that's cool. Now, I have a very diverse piece of cheesecake. Yours doesn't have to be so diverse. Yours doesn't have to be anything except exactly what you want it to be. And that is the beauty of interfaith spirituality. So when we're here and we're doing, again, what I call a universal, light-based, love-filled service once a month at Founders MCC, what you're getting is exactly that. It's universal. It's for everyone. It's light-based. I only work in the light. I don't want to talk about anything that's not of the light. You will not hear me talk about it during these services. So only the light counts. It's light. It's love-filled. Because what is God? What is the light? It's love. So everything I do comes from a place of love. And it's for everyone. Even if you're an atheist, you might go back through my services and find something you like. And you can do that by going to Sheena, foundersmcc.com. And that is a page where I basically just put all the archives of these services up with links where you can go and watch. But if you just go through and you read the names of my services, and the sermon each time for we just passed 5 years, you will find that everything is for everyone. And you don't have to be somebody of a certain faith or have any faith at all, except maybe faith in the world and faith in yourself and belief in love. And you can be an atheist and have all of those things. And I wanted to create something that was really for everyone. So when our senior pastor, Pastor Keith Mazingo, and I designed this service, it was based on that. We wanted something that anybody could come to and feel okay and feel happy and feel wanted and feel like they belong. Because feeling like you belong somewhere, anywhere, everywhere is one of the biggest tools to really locking into yourself. And it's so important that we connect to ourselves, because there are 4 basic relationships that you have in this world: your relationship to self, your relationship to God, your relationship to the earth, and your relationship to others. And it should be in that order. But most of us reverse that, right? What do other people think of us? What does the world think of us? Is God mad at me? What does God think of me? And then last, what do I think of me? It should be the opposite. Self-love should always come first. You locking in and connecting to yourself should be the most important thing. So we talk about that here. Messages for everyone. Messages from Spirit for everyone. And if you don't believe in Spirit, then it's just a wacky reverend giving you messages that come from my head. If you think everything just comes from my head, then enjoy. You're welcome. Okay, so are you interfaith? Something to think about before the next service next month. Do you consider yourself interfaith? Do you acknowledge that there is a giant spiritual pie encompassing all faiths where everyone is involved? Even people who claim they have no faith, even our atheist and agnostic friends are part of the pie. Do you acknowledge that this pie exists? And do you consider you to be a piece of the pie? That's something to think about. Once you start thinking of, and I know this from experience, because I was raised sort of loosely Protestant, Presbyterian light. I honestly don't remember much, but the coffee cake and the sandwich cookies that have the chocolate cookie on one side and the vanilla one on the other, and this punch, that's why I started believing in God, because of the way the punch tasted. And if I ever stopped believing in God, once here at Founders afterwards, I was hanging out with the folks from the Spanish speaking service in the afternoon, and they were having refreshments afterwards, and somebody made a horchata that reinforced my belief in God. So never underestimate church refreshments and how they will help. But I understand what it's like to not know where you belong spiritually, and to feel like everybody belongs to this church they go to every week and they're so devout to, and you don't have that, and where do you belong? And all I can tell you is the earth is a pie, your faith is a piece, and everyone belongs somewhere. And if you don't know the place that you belong spiritually now, you will find that place. Even if that place is, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in a higher power, but I want what's best for the world. If you only want what's best for the world, you will find your place. And it'll be beautiful. Because finding out where you belong and where your faith lies, it's an epiphany. And what comes with it is an amazing serotonin lift and adrenal rush and a secure feeling of coming home. And even me, I thought, oh, I know all about my spirituality. I have a spiritual practice. I work in the spiritual world. I receive messages from spirit. I don't need to be part of a church. And maybe that was true. But when I found Founders MCC, I realized that I was home and that I had found the place where I belonged. And you can never underestimate how good that feels. To find your church, find your faith, find your place. It's beautiful. So another thing about your spirituality that I don't know if I talk about every month, but I should, is that it is fluid, like everything else on the earth. It is always growing and it's always evolving and it's always changing as it evolves. So, if you like your spiritual beliefs, wait 5 minutes because more will probably come. So you should not beat yourself up if you start to feel like there are other things out there that interest you because you're a seeker. That's how it should be. We're supposed to grow and evolve. Everything is supposed to be fluid. We're learning so much now, right? That your sexuality is fluid, that your gender is fluid, that everything is a spectrum. Well, so is spirituality. I think it's one of the biggest spectrums. And everything is a flow. So as you walk your spiritual path, you're going to pick up more things that interest you. It's like how when you were little, maybe you only listened to the music your parents listened to, your older siblings listened to. And then when you got into school and you met new people, you started being exposed to music that other people liked. And some of those bands or artists really resonated with you and your musical likes expanded and continued to expand. Then you went to high school, you went to college, you made adult friends, you went into the workplace, started working with people, and all of these people had music to expose you to. So when you look back at when you were a kid and there were only a handful of artists you listened to, and now you move forward, you've been exposed to so much more. Now there's so much music that you like. But some of the things from your childhood, some of those first things you still love, and some of them you sort of drop by the wayside and you've not forgotten about them, but they're not present on your Spotify playlist all the time. This is what your faith is like. And it's okay for it to continue to change, and it's okay for it to change back. As long as you continue to walk your spiritual path and walk your life path and do good for other people and work to overcome the challenges and the obstacles that are thrown at you, you're allowed to do anything you want. Do anything you want, be anything you want, love who you want, hang out with who you want, participate in what you want. And all that Spirit asks from you is that you walk your path, you share the love inside of you with others, and you overcome challenges and obstacles with grace. This is the beauty of interfaith spirituality. Every time I talk about it, I get excited. Hey, interfaith spirituality. I get so excited. I'm like a kid. I think it's fascinating that all this stuff is at our fingertips and we're allowed to enjoy all of it. Did you ever think you'd find a time where you'd be watching a spiritual service and somebody would just pull out a water bottle and start sucking on it? God bless our post-COVID world, but getting all fired up makes me very thirsty. So when I did this service from our sanctuary, I always had the water bottle tucked, it was tucked. And I would wait until somebody was performing and then, I can't do that now. It's just me right now. So you guys have to see the bottle. Sorry, the bottle exists. The bottle is real. So talking about all of this in regards to interfaith spirituality reminds me a little bit about what we're talking about today. And I think as human beings, we oftentimes raise our other human beings that we are in charge of raising to be rather sedentary and to make black and white decisions. I'm into this. I'm out. I'm in this relationship. I'm done. I got this job. I'm done. I don't like this career right now. I'm done. How many times a day do you say I'm done? Or do you hear on social media somebody, or see on social media somebody posting a post or doing a video? I'm done, be done, you should be done, be finished, you should be finished, it needs to be finished. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't things in your life that need to be finished, because, and listen closely, there are things in your life that need to be finished. But I think we were raised to have this attitude of close it up, put it away, done. And working with my clients, I have a spiritual practice, and I find in working with my clients, and a lot of my practice obviously is relationship stuff, that oftentimes clients will say to me, like, they'll be with somebody, right? Then they have a problem with that person. And sometimes it's a big problem. Sometimes it's a small problem. Well, it's all subjective, right? Let me rephrase that. To me, sometimes it's a big problem. Sometimes it's a small problem. And they will always say, like, now should I be done? Am I done? Am I done? And I will always say, you're not done, because you got a soul tie. The person's going to come back. I can hear in your voice that you're not ready to be done, and you're not done. Should I be done? Is it over? Am I done? And again, let me go back and say, there are situations where something should just be done. People can be abusive, emotionally, physically. You can outgrow people. They cannot be bringing anything to your life. You don't want to go backwards emotionally to catch up to somebody who's never going to move forward. In these situations, yeah, you need to be done. Or at least you need to be done for now, and let's see how they grow. I like done for now quite a bit. But never forget to open your heart to new beginnings. Because what if it's not done? What if you're not done? What if you're angry? What if you're disillusioned? What if whatever the situation was, it came with a person that maybe you need to be done with, but you don't need to be done with the career path, the idea of, the thought of something happening in the future along the same vein. Somebody breaks your heart, you don't need to be done with love. You work with somebody who's a boss who's insufferable. You don't need to be done with that job or with that career path. And even though life coaches and gurus will tell you it's hard to be done, the truth is, I believe it's easier to be done than it is to be embracing of the idea of a new beginning. It's scary to say, this person broke my heart, but I still want love. It's hard to say, this person ruined my workplace, but I still want to work in this world. I still want to work this job, or I still want to work in this field. It's okay to say, this family member did me so dirty, but I still want to be their family. Life is complicated. I like to say life is hard and people are harder. Situations can be difficult, but you don't even always need to cut yourself off from something. And oftentimes it's not even what spirit wants. And it's okay to get upset and, throw down your toys and stomp away, and I'm done. This is too hard. I'm never working here again. I picked the wrong job. I'm going to go get a job as a clerk in a convenience store. I'm not going to do this anymore. It's okay to think it, and it's even okay to do it. By all means, go get hired at the 7-Eleven and see if you like it. Try it. Try walking away. Find out if something is good for you. You leave a relationship, try dating other people. See how you feel about it. I'm not saying don't explore. Explore every option. But if at the end of the day, it turns out that you still loved that job, you just didn't like working in that place because of those people, and it's possible to transfer to a different place or get hired at a different place and start again doing the thing you love. Keep your heart open to new beginnings. New beginnings are beautiful. Clean slate, new chances. I see it all the time in my practice. I'm never going to talk to my sister again. I'll never have a relationship with my mom. My son's never going to talk to me again. And then it works out. I can't imagine ever, I hear a lot, I can't imagine ever feeling good in this job again. I'm never going back to school. I'm never going to finish. It's just not for me. And then 3 months later, I get a call. You were right. I went back to school and I finished. That person got fired and my job got great. My sister called and we talked, you know. And even if it doesn't happen, even if the thing you were hoping was going to happen doesn't happen, you have to keep your heart open to new possibilities and new beginnings. Because we're not supposed to wander on this earth. This is nothing Spirit wants for us. We are not supposed to wander around this earth, wander through this earth, closed off to the idea of new opportunities, new beginnings, new possibilities. One of the hardest things I believe about being a human on the earth, and this falls under the heading of the obstacles and challenges that Spirit throws at us. One of the hardest things about being on this earth is to stay open, stay loving, stay vulnerable, stay optimistic in the face of a lot of the things that happen to you in your life. That's hard. And I know from experience. I know because I've seen it in others, and I know because I've seen it in my own life. But it's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to keep learning, keep staying open, keep staying hopeful, keep having faith that better things will come. Because they always do. So let's say you're a teacher. My mom was when she was very young, was an elementary school teacher, K-4, but kindergarten was what she loved. So many times she wanted to quit her job because she had a hard time with what the parents were doing to their kids. And she had a hard time with how the administration was treating the parents, the kids, and the teachers. And I'm sure she almost quit 150,000 times. She's a Scorpio. Scorpios are the kings and the queens of when I'm done, I'm done. But she stayed and found a way to be able to help children in spite of the other adults that maybe didn't have their best interests at heart. I have friends that work in hospitals as doctors and nurses, and they have a very hard time with the bureaucracy of the fact that a hospital is basically a corporation. And I'm sure they want to quit every 3 days, but they stay because they love healing. And sometimes being open to a new beginning is about looking past the earthbound, the three-dimensional things right in front of you, and having the foresight to look at the entire picture. Do I ever want to not heal again? Do I really want to not teach kids again? Do I not want to feel what it feels like to know I'm locked into my destiny and making a difference? Do I really want to never see that person again? Do I really want to go my whole life and not have a relationship with my brother? And it's hard to know when to stay and when to go. Insert the Clash song here. Do, 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 do. It's hard to know, because there are times where for your own emotional and spiritual protection, you need to move away from something. But even then, stay hopeful for a new beginning, because people sometimes do change, and people sometimes do, for lack of a bit more spiritual term, get their poop in a group. People do get better, and situations do get better. Sometimes a person that is hard and making you hate your job, quitting or getting fired, that's how it gets better. But if you get this mindset of, I'm never going to go anywhere in my life, I'm never going to find love, I'm always going to hate my job, I'm always going to hate my body, this is always going to suck, this is terrible, why am I doing this, this is awful, you are never going to have the things that you want, because you're not staying open to the possibility of new beginnings. And new beginnings can mean two very different things. It can mean another shot with that same person, that same thing, or it can mean life beyond that person, that job, that family member, but opening yourself up to a new beginning where you start again with different people, different opportunities, different jobs, and find a greater level of happiness and fulfillment. But if you don't believe it's possible, if you think things are always going to be bad, if you don't believe the new beginning is a reality, if you think this is done and this sucked and I'm shutting down and that's just how it's going to be, then you're missing out on so much good stuff. And like I said, I think the hardest thing from all the spiritual work I do with folks, I firmly believe the hardest part about being on the earth is having to stay open and optimistic in the face of so many challenges and obstacles. And obstacles can sometimes mean people who are not acting the way that maybe they should be. But when you overcome those challenges, when you overcome those obstacles, when you become, I love this expression, the victor of circumstance. I don't know where I first heard that, but I love it. You change your life from being the victim of circumstance to the victor of circumstance. You take your power. And you can either take your power and say, whoops, I'm done with this, I'm going home. Or you can take your power and say, I'm gonna stay here, I'm gonna try to work this out. Both things are taking your power. And it feels super good to take your power. Then you move forward and you're in charge. It's what you want to do. But if you turn on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, X, so many people out there, right, making videos telling you, cut this off, cut this person off, quit that job, don't let the door hit you on the way out, tell them where to go, don't believe again, you're done. That's a lot of negativity. And I understand we have to stand up for ourselves. We have to assert ourselves. You shouldn't let people take advantage of you. People that act that way should not get your love and your respect and your attention. I get it. But man, that is a closed off way to live. And the thing about being closed off is it only hurts you in the long run. That person doesn't care. If that person doesn't care what's going on with you, they're not going to care whether you open up and find love again or not. You're only hurting you when you're closing yourself off. And here's the thing. When you close yourself off energetically, now I'm going to get woo-woo. Here comes the dose of fufilala. When you cut yourself off, you are limiting yourself, right? You're having what the Buddhists call a limiting consciousness. You are limiting yourself. You're saying, love's not for me. I'll never be happy in a job. My family's always going to suck. I'm never going to look the way I want to. And all spirit is hearing, because the universe is a mirror. All spirit is hearing is never, 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 never. If nothing but from a pure energetic perspective, and I tell my clients this all the time, you have to stay open. You have to stay joyful. You have to stay in a place of positivity. You have to have hope. You have to have faith. You have to believe that your life and situations are going to get better, whether that means in a new place with a new person, or it means resolving what you've already got. What you can't do is stay in this place of, oh, la, 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 and also, la, 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 it's awful, awful, awful. Oh, that's it. Well, then what is your life? And I know we have pride. I know we want to go, ugh, and walk away. Do you think I don't, do you think I don't want to do that a lot? Done. Talk to my hand. But I don't, because I know it's not what spirit wants. And if I try to do that, spirit's like, Reverend Sheena, what are you doing? We're here. We're here. Hello. What are you doing? Always stay open to new possibilities. Keep your heart open. Stay full of love, hope, positivity, faith, belief. Do these things for me. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that today. If you want to send a donation, please do. Help us to help you to help others, because we help so many others here. Text 77977 or visit foundersmcc.org. You might want to say you enjoy Saturday Night Spiritual and Reverend Sheena. I wouldn't be sad. Also, you can find me at sheenametalspiritual.com. And you can find our community page, SaturdayNightSpiritual.com. And of course, to watch archives, Rev Sheena, FoundersMCC.org. Please follow Founders MCC on Facebook and on YouTube, and watch a lot of our great content. Come out on a Sunday and see us in person. And I will see you next month, the second Saturday, 5 o'clock Pacific time, for Saturday Night Spiritual. Till I see you next time, seek peace, live in love, lead with kindness, embrace unity, always work to raise your vibration. And please always know that you are love. You are the embodiment of love, and you are loved. And you are so loved by me. I'm Reverend Sheena Metal. This is foundersmcc.org. I'll see you next month for Saturday Night Spiritual, 5 o'clock, the second Saturday of the month. Until I see you next time, namaste. Stay beautiful. I'm rooting for you, and so is God.